Hi there. Did you notice on the calendar that we have a day commemorating National Boss Day? I noticed that, as you might have. And it made me start thinking about my 23-year career in management. Some bosses I worked for, some bosses I worked alongside, and times I was a boss. I gave that some thought as well. It occurred to me that bosses have different levels and ways of communicating with the people that they work with. I'm going to summarize now, very quickly, the ways that the best bosses communicate with those who work with them. Number one, they give very clear instructions. They don't say, I want you to get this to me soon. No. Instead, they say, I need this by 1 o'clock tomorrow. They don't say, give me a report on our sales team. No. Instead, they say, tell me how many sales calls were made this month, and also tell me how many sales calls were made in the same month last year. Some of the others that I jotted down, great bosses compliment excellent performance. Notice I said excellent performance. They don't compliment mediocre performance, because if they do that, they're just encouraging mediocre performance. Yet when they find superb performance, they compliment those workers in timely, sincere, and constructive fashion. Again, the best bosses listen to ideas from their team. They recognize that the people who are closest to the task that's been assigned to them have a viewpoint that the ones we could call the suits don't have. So excellent bosses listen to get ideas from people who are on the front lines at work. Another one I jotted down, they offer correction and criticism privately. One of the worst ways to kill morale in an organization would be to give somebody what we might call a reprimand or a chewing out in front of their peers. No. Any corrections must take place behind closed doors. Again, the best bosses do what they require of others. Let's say that a CEO has told the group, you know, our budget is tight, and so none of us can go to off-site staff meetings that will be expensive. And then within a few weeks, you find out that the CEO is taking his cabinet, as he calls it, to a very exclusive and expensive restaurant. That won't work. That kills credibility. You must be under the same restraints that you give to other people. And then the best leaders convey optimism. Sure, they're realists, but in the long run, they let people know that there are solutions to the problems, and that if we all work together and if we follow a plan, there are better days ahead. This is especially important during COVID-19. And then the last one I jotted down, the best bosses mingle with employees at every level. They don't just stay with the top management. When they go into the cafeteria, the best bosses don't sit with their management team. They go find somebody else, somebody that they really rarely get a chance to talk with. They sit at the table, share a meal with them. They don't talk shop. No, instead, they talk family and sports and other light and non-work related topics. If you've been privileged enough to have a boss who shared these communication traits, you're very fortunate. If you are in a leadership position in management, please take note of the best practices that the best bosses use. Thanks for being with me. I'm Bill Lampton, the Biz Communication Guy.